Beware Maria. Maria talks about art and culture. She talks about places, about health and fitness, about well-being, about history. She talks about events. She talks about abstractions and about things that are very specific, and about science, about people, about herself, about thinking. Maria talks about many things. Maria hopes that there is someone at the other side listening to her. So if you would like to say something, you can write to bewaremaria@gmail.com and she will be delighted to read you. You can also propose what you want Maria to talk about. Maria finds it odd to talk about herself in the third person, but she still does it. Today's episode is about time and artists and generations, but actually this is going to start a new section, a new series, a new venture, a new something that I'm going to call Googling with me. So I will be learning something that I don't know at the same time I record it. Obviously, if I'm learning it, it's because I don't know it. It's like me being with you sitting in your living room. I'm making comments of what I've just found in Google. So beware. What's your generation? What's your generation? I mean, the label of your generation. And do you feel identified with it? I've never had totally clear what my generation was about, because I've been busier trying to figure out what am I about. I'm going to do a test. I found some tests online, and these tests is telling you what generation are from. Are you a baby boomer, a Generation X, Generation Z, or millennial? First of all, why do you do a test to know what generation are you? If it is established that, let me find it here. Yeah, so if you're born between 1965 and 1979, you are Generation X. If you're born between 1946 and 1964, you're a baby boomer. If you are born between 1975 and 1985, you're a millennial. Then it's, like millennials, Generation Y. If you were born between 1980, 1994, is like a late kind of millennial. I know the previous one was Xennials. I never heard about Xennials. So if you're born between 1975 and 1985, you're Xennial. If you are born between 1995 and 2012, you are Generation Z. And there is something even after that, which is called Generation Alpha. If you're born between 2013 and 2025. If you are born in the future. Okay, so what is Xennials? Xennials is, according to Wikipedia, as Alexa would say. I call it Alexa. You know what? I've been gifted an Alexa close to my birthday by a colleague and friend, and having an amazing time with her. But I forgot her name. I call her Alexia, Amanda, all sorts of things. I don't know if that defines my generation. Remind me this, and she doesn't, because I'm not saying the right name. Okay, so Xennials is a micro generation of people of the Generation X, like the last ones, and the first of the millennials. So apparently many people who were born during the cusp years of Generation X and the millennial generation do not fit the mold of those generations, but rather share characteristics of both. So that is a Xennial. Who fits in a mold? I mean, okay, so this is defined, and by the year you were born, you can just go and look what your generation is, or how your generation is labeled. Why do you want to do a quiz about it? To find out if you already know. However, I'm going to do the quiz. So there's a quiz here. So the way they're going to guess my generation is pick a plant to own. I can choose between a fiddle leaf tree, a snake plant, a peace lily, and a yucca plant. I think I'm going to go for snake plant. You stubbed your toe, but you're in the presence of a child, so can't swear. Express your anger in a different way. So you can choose to say sugar, Oh bloody hell, oh fuck, oh gosh darn it. I choose to say, oh bloody hell. What do you do first in the morning? So I have to choose between check my phone, snooze the alarm, make the bed, or shower. I must admit, it's a mixture between snooze the alarm and check my phone, because I need to get the phone to snooze the alarm in it. And then I have it in my hand, so I check what there is. I'm going to click check my phone. I think it's more honest. Pick a vegetable: Brussels sprouts, carrots, potatoes, and broccoli. Pick a vegetable for what? I eat almost every vegetable. Let's choose, I don't know, let's choose broccoli. No idea what this means. Pick a cat to own. So there are 4 cats. One's got glasses like a tiger. The other's is grey. The other is black, and the other is like fluffy, chubby. I'm going to vote for fluffy, chubby. Finally, what annoys you the most? What annoys me the most? When people say sick to mean cool. When people say lol out loud rather than laughing. When people say like a lot. And when people use business jargon. None of it annoys me. None of it is nothing that really annoys me. And as a consequence of my chosen options, they say that I'm a Generation Z. You're going to change the world one TikTok at a time. Who knows? Maybe I could get even a TikTok account. Okay, this is just as absurd as it is. I have another one here. So this one is called Baby Boomer, Generation X, Millennial, or Generation Z, which I'm obviously not. So I got a picture of fried eggs with bacon and coffee, and it says pick a breakfast item. Pancakes, a smoothie, eggs Benedict, or bacon and eggs. I'm gonna pick bacon and eggs. Then what's the first thing to do in the morning? What I do? Yes, check my phone. Between check my phone, shower, make the bed, and hit snooze. Yes. Someone just got paid. What should they splurge on? So I got paid, I got a bit of money. What am I going to spend it in? A record player, candy, avocado toast, or video games? This is sick. I'm not going to spend it in any of this. I don't want to do this test. Closing the test. There is another. Okay, this is the last one I'm going to do. It's called Can We Guess If You're a Generation X, Baby Boomer, or Millennial? So let's see what I am. What am I? What is a zine? It's a cheaper magazine. It's like a comic book without pictures. I have no idea. It's like a blog but physical. It's like a comic book, but not without pictures. Is it without pictures? I would say it's with pictures. So it's a cheaper magazine. Okay, let's say that one. Scroll to next question. What letters continue after LGB? LGB. Option 2, LGBT. Option 3, LGBTQ. Option 4, LGBTQIA. Let's say LGBTQIA. I don't know how that flucks me. What resolution was the first television you bought? I've never bought a television. So I'm going to say 70-20 pixels. How do you listen to music? On a hi-fi system? On my phone from ripped CDs? On my Apple TV? Or streaming from my laptop or phone? And I would say streaming from my laptop or phone. What mostly do you use your phone for? Option 1 for phone calls. Option 2 for texting. Option 3 for emails. And option 4 for social media. And I'm going to say for social media. How's your eyesight? It's not what I used to be. It's okay if I have my glasses. It's absolutely great, and I had my vision corrected. Okay, that's more defining than other things. Say is not what I used to be. And according to this, I'm a millennial. My answers point to me being a millennial, someone born after 1977 or after 1980. Anecdotically, you grew up with household computers, diet cola, and less fear of nuclear holocaust than your ancestors. Well, actually, literally speaking, I'm not a millennial. I'm not even a millennial. Maybe I could consider myself to be an early millennial. Who knows? Let's listen to some music. Let's get a happy mood. This is called Happy Chappy by Ketsa. And the album is called Summer with Sound, and I like the whole album.
Shoot, 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 shoot.
And encountering this information about the generations has been a revelation for me. I never knew that before the baby boomer, they also have names. I don't know who gave these names to generations. Before the baby boomers, that are 1946, 1964, there is the generation born between 1925 to 1945. And it's called the silent generation, which is a generation who was born in a period in which there were no wars. And maybe they're called silent because they were more conformists. They grew up expecting a hard life between one war and the other world, and they were not allowed. Before that, the generation born between 1910 and 1924 is called the greatest generation. What a name to belong to our generation. We are the greatest generation. So those are, born between 1901 to 1927, and that must be shaped by the First World War and the Great Depression. Very interesting. The things I learned by being here, actually by being alive. The greatest generation were between 1910 to 1924. Before that, there is the interbellum generation. Between 1901 and 1913, they were born. And there are people who were too old to serve as enlisted personnel in World War II already. People from that generation like Franklin Roosevelt. Okay, and then before that, we have names for every generation. That is called the lost generation. So before the interbellum generation is the lost generation, or the generation of 1914, is people who were born between 1890 and 1915. And why are they called the lost generation? Those were the ones that were in early adulthood during World War I. And it's called lost because they were disoriented and directionless because of it. Also in the years of the post-war period. I suppose this is not really that strict, and that some people who are born like between generations, they can be considered from one or the other, depending on the way they are and the things they like and what. If they use their phone or they pick it or they say sugar. However, I was thinking a lot about time passing and about people from one generation blaming the other generations, and I think we never learn. I want to say this, that I got a friend saying, talking about music, and he was saying, oh no, this Billie Eilish. So when I hear these, no, but that's not from my generation, but that's not, and even things like, no, I don't like Billie Eilish because it's like, and I think, what you mean? You mean rhythmical? Is that what you want to say, that you don't like music that is rhythmical? You're right to not like it. But not like it because you haven't known about it and you know it superficially. And they don't do rock like they used to do. They don't do dancing like they used to do. They don't do shows like they used to do. Eurovision is not the same as it used to be in the past. Yes, we know it's not the same. And we have other things. Because I missed all the pop music, all the rock music, and all the popular music of the years in which I was studying, because I was so much into classical music that I never paid attention to what was around. So later on, many years later, when I started to listen to pop and folk and rock and other types of music that I missed before, I don't have those references, that this is from the time in which I was coming out of high school and doing this and that. And then, if it's Madonna, if it's music from the 90s, then you like it, whatever. And then we don't change, and then we blame the others. Why? Why do you ridiculize? When I hear music, and I'm not saying I do the best thing, I just tell you what I do and how I am. I put on my musician's ears, I listen to the music, and I tell you I like it or I don't like it. And it doesn't matter. I don't give a fig. If it's about the 90s or is about the 30s or is something that was made yesterday. I have another acquaintance who recently published in one of his social media something like, oh, they don't do theatre the way they anymore, the way they used to do it. We used to see theatre in black and white in the television, and now we don't see that anymore. I like lamenting But Guy, you can see that because you can access via internet archives of theatre that was streamed in whatever time they were doing that, because I don't remember that myself, and just watch it. So nobody's going to stop you from watching those plays. What you are protesting about? Are you protesting for the fact that they don't do this now, showing that kind of theatre in television anymore? They do other things. They do their own performances. They do art everywhere. We manifest in different ways. We've got TikTok, we've got YouTube. Again, people protesting against YouTubers because this kid that was a teacher. These children and teenagers now only see YouTubers and they don't watch it and read books. Come on, there are good YouTubers. They're very, very good YouTubers that tell a lot of interesting things. Have you listened to those? Have you checked those? Yes, but social media gives you an idea, idealized idea of the life that people is, and then you see that your life is not so good, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then if there are people giving those ideas and that is not an interesting content, you follow others. You follow others. And that is all you can do to enjoy yourself and learn and find art. Performance art that can be done in anything, in any way, in any manner, but it's going to be different. Oh, they don't do rock music the way they used to do it. Okay, fine, that's fine that they don't do it because that is already done. We want to hear something new. It is good for your head. It is good for your neural pathways to create new neural pathways, as I said. And it's, it annoys me. That's what really annoys me is not people that say lol or lil or sugar. What annoys me is people who say they blaming the younger generation and saying they don't do anymore the way we used to do. What about the greatest generation protesting about you not doing the way they did? Why don't you think about this? Think about it. Come on. Why do I say this? Do I say it to describe two different ways to be? No. Do I say to describe two different tastes of things? No. I want to actually make a point with this, which is, if you rather say there are no whatevers as there were before my time in a dismissive way, like things in your generation were way far better because they were familiar to you, I don't want to hear that. I just don't want to hear that. It's your loss if you're going to miss a lot of young artists. And I'm not going to say names because I will leave a lot out. And then you can say, oh, the ones I've chosen, these are the ones that you don't like. It's your loss. But I'm bored of hearing that. And if you're in a position of power, it undermines talent. Not because you say it, but because the way you act or the way other people act because of it. So stop it. I want you to stop it. Let me give you something a bit unfamiliar, which is the music from Ketsa, Bouncy Spongy. All for you. So yes, familiarity. This is something I talked about in one of my first ever episodes. Familiarity helps you to like something the more you hear to it and the more pleasant feelings and memories you associate to it. So it's totally normal that you like it. Yes, I'm calmer now because I did my rant. And yes, ranting is good for me, and if you enjoy it, then it's good for you too. If you want to see me ranting, want to hear me ranting about something else, remember, write to me to bewaremaria@gmail.com, and I will be delighted to read your rants or your suggestions about what I can rant about. And if I agree with it, then I will be ranting for you, or we can be even ranting together if you want to come online with me and do some good old ranting, like in the old times, you know. Nobody rants again the way they used to. Have a good week and have fun. I do.